All right, everybody at FullOnDrums.com. It's time we talked about some tone with my boys at Evans. And you know I'm an Evans guy. I love the Evans. My sound, it's all there. And we've got Ben, and he's going to show us some new stuff. Ben, what do you got going, brother?
Hey, guys, we got some really exciting stuff to talk to you about today. And it all has to do with tuning. Now, we've all seen all those tuning videos out there, and we've been taught how to tune. We know how to tune now. We've gone through the process of cross-lug tuning sequence and seating the head and making it work and getting it to the point where it finally sounds good so you can focus on the things that matter. But let's face it, we're still struggling with tuning. No matter how many videos you've watched, how much time you spent tuning, how much experience you have, it's still a pain. Wouldn't you rather spend your time playing and not tuning? What I've got here is just a traditional drum head. Competitor's drum head. This represents the way that drum heads have always been since the invention of synthetic drum heads. You see how it fits on this shell. Now, I've got 4 different shells here, all the same thing. 12-inch tom, 14-inch tom, DW, Pearl, Tama, Yamaha, it doesn't matter. It could be a custom drum, it could be a vintage drum. All different bearing edges, you experience the same issue. The head does not fit on the drum the way it should. Now, we've been taught that this is just the way that it is. You've got to deal with it, you've got to seat the drum head, over-tension it in order to get it to sing in tune. You've got to be able to mold down the collar, or what's this outer portion right here, this edge of the drum head. And you'll see that that is exactly what's coming in contact with the bearing edge right now. When we set that down on the drum here, I press down on this side, and unfortunately it pops up on the opposite side. And then I go back here, and it's doing the same thing. Now, this is why we've been taught that you apply a little bit of tension over here, and then a little over there, and you do the entire cross-lug tuning sequence that we've gotten used to. Now, if you ask me, that's not really the way that drum heads should fit. So we at Evans and the fine folks at D'Addario have come up with this thing called Level 360, and this is a new collar design. The key here, this is not a new drum head. It's technically a drum head, but it's really a revolution. This is a full new way to think about drum heads and tuning and making it easy. You stop focusing on the tuning, start focusing on the drumming. So you see here, we've got a Level 360 head sitting on this bearing edge, and when I press down on the bearing edge here, you'll see it does not pop up over here. It sits completely level, 360 degrees around the drum. It's perfectly flush here. Now you may be thinking, okay, well that's fine and dandy, that's wonderful, but how does that affect me as soon as I put a counter hoop on and I start to tune it? Because honestly, I'm not going to just be playing it like this. I'm going to have to tune it up. So what I'm going to do for you now is I'm actually going to just finger tighten this. I'm going to put the counter hoop on here. In a moment, I'm going to pass the mic off so I can just focus on tensioning. Here you go. Perfect. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to be applying finger tension just as one would when you're first putting on a drum head. I'm not going to pull out a key. I'm not going to do anything to make sure that the tension is balanced all the way across the drum. I'm just simply getting the tension rods in place. Now while I'm doing this, I want to mention to you that while Level 360 is the new thing that we're talking about, the new thing that we're launching, this is not a new series of drum head. This is an entire new design to all of our drum heads. So if you're an Evans user right now, first of all, thank you. Second of all, if you have that favorite series that you like, if you like the EC2 or maybe the new Black Chrome, you don't have to sacrifice that sound, which you've been enjoying for all these years. Level 360 is going to be something that exists on all of our drum heads, 6-inch through 20-inch. Doesn't matter if it's coated, doesn't matter if it's clear, frosted, toms, reso heads, snare batter heads, snare side heads, and then soon to be bass drum heads as well. So what I've got here is I've just about finished getting this down finger tight. Okay, so what we have here is now I've finger tensioned this. I haven't taken a drum key to it, and I'm going to just tap the center. You're going to hear there's already tone. So I haven't done anything to balance the amount of tension across the drum. I haven't done anything to check and see what it's like at each of the individual key rod points. Now I'm going to pull out a drum key, and instead of going from lug to lug across and balancing out the amount of tension and doing quarter turns on every single lug, I'm just going to go around in a circle. Don't really care how many times I'm going to do it. Maybe a quarter turn here, half a turn there, maybe a full turn there. Just kind of going around in a circle. Now, if you're like me, you're probably cringing watching this happen. You're thinking to yourself, man, this is not going to sound good. This is not going to be a good thing. Well, I'm going to set this down, put the mic up to it, and you can hear that there's seriously some nice sustained, nice tone. It resonates. I didn't have to go around and check each of the individual tones. I didn't have to balance any overtones or anything. There's no wizardry to this. This is exactly how drum heads always should have worked. There's no reason why you should have to struggle with a drum head that does not fit a drum. Look at this. This is not how drum heads are supposed to work. This is how drum heads are supposed to work. I'm going to take it a step further, though, and you're probably not going to believe this, but I'm actually going to just take this up a little higher, and I'm going to take this tension rod all the way off. We really don't need this tension rod. Listen to it now. We've still got tone. We've still got tension. Now, the reason this works is because the head was sitting level on the entire drum shell from the start. I didn't have to break down the collar. I didn't have to over-tension it. I didn't have to get it to the point where it was touching on this side and touching on that side. I didn't have to balance the amount of tension. I have no idea if each of these points are in tune right now, but when was the last time you played a drum head like that? When you play a drum head, you're hitting it. You want to hear what the total sound of the drum is. In the end, this means that you're going to be able to spend less time tuning and more time playing. Because honestly, when did you pick up the sticks and think to yourself, man, I really want to tune drums? No one says I really want to tune drums. They say I really want to play drums. So we're going to make it easier for you. And the beautiful thing is this is on every single one of our drum heads. You'll find it out in stores in the next couple of months. It is a new collar design, and it is something that looks just a little bit like this. Just making it super easy for you to get your drums in tune and focus on playing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. And thank you guys.
Dude, these are going to be on my kit on the show as soon as possible.